We call ourselves lazy when we can't muster energy or motivation, but what if we're actually burnt out? Here are the red flags that tell you it's time to prioritize self-care for the sake of your health and happiness. Unlike laziness, burnout can lead to a state of profound physical and emotional exhaustion. It comes as a result of excessive job demands, personal stressors, or continuous pressure, leaving you feeling drained both mentally and physically. In fact, according to the Scholarly Community Encyclopedia, or SCE, emotional exhaustion is one of burnout's 3 key dimensions. It can make you feel unable to muster the energy to perform even the most basic tasks, which is very different from the underperformance that comes from not wanting to be bothered to do something. Burnout-induced exhaustion is unlike any other form of fatigue. It's actually categorized as the highest level of energy depletion on the exhaustion spectrum. Research has linked burnout to a myriad of health problems, while it also contributes to a loss of feelings of community and connection, both of which are important within an organization.
You are scum! I should fire you and burn down your friggin' house!
As opposed to laziness, which primarily affects your productivity, burnout can have profound effects on social dynamics within the workplace. In this case, we're specifically talking about the consequences of depersonalization, a coping mechanism triggered in response to the immense stress typical of a burnout crisis. Depersonalization can make you feel disconnected and distant from the people around you. It may extend beyond your coworkers and affect how you interact with clients or even friends, to the point where you might start seeing all relationships in a negative way, as if you can't relate to others anymore. According to Psychology Today, signs of this type of disconnection include a loss of enjoyment in previously enjoyable activities, a negative or pessimistic attitude, and a growing sense of isolation.
Man, I used to be fun.
You'd rather be left alone than participate in group activities, which is what most differentiates burnout from laziness. A lazy person seizes any opportunity for distraction. Recognizing these warning signs early on can be crucial in taking steps to address burnout and prioritize your mental and emotional well-being. Burnout's 3rd dimension is known as reduced personal accomplishment and can profoundly affect your attitude toward work to the point where you start questioning your effectiveness. Contrary to laziness, burnout can trigger feelings of failure even when you don't want to underperform. This can throw you into a downward spiral, affecting your motivation and drive.
Ever since I started working, every single day of my life has been worse than the day before it.
Dealing with a reduced sense of personal accomplishment can make you want to quit your job to escape the perceived failure. Moreover, it can also lower your self-esteem, affecting not just your work, but other aspects of your life. To look out for the telltale signs of this type of burnout, pay attention to how easily irritated you become when dealing with simple or unimportant things, and whether you're getting less done during your day. A general feeling of dissatisfaction towards your work is another sign. Studies have shown a strong link between burnout, anxiety, and depression. According to a review published in Frontiers in Psychology, depression often overlaps with burnout, but unlike depression, which can be long-lasting and manifest regardless of the circumstances, burnout is specifically tied to a person's working environment, making it a situational form of distress. Similarly, the connection between burnout and anxiety is noteworthy. Occupational stress may be a risk factor for anxiety symptoms, with aspects such as high job demands, excessive effort, and non-reciprocal overcommitment identified as potential anxiety triggers. Furthermore, studies have found that people who experience any of the 3 dimensions of burnout, emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, and inefficiency in their work, are more likely to experience symptoms of anxiety. This indicates a complex interplay between work-related stress, burnout, and mental health issues, illustrating how, contrary to laziness, burnout can serve as a driver for more severe mental health problems. This distinction is vital, as it suggests that employers and employees can take proactive steps to promote mental well-being by identifying and mitigating occupational stressors. According to a study published in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health, evidence suggests that burnout can have significant effects on how your brain works, making it harder to focus, remember things, and make decisions. Moreover, the study determined that burnout patients tend to perform worse than healthy people on tasks involving attention span, working memory, learning, and episodic memory. For example, people with higher burnout scores have increased brain activation when performing tasks that need attention. This means they are using more brain resources to complete cognitive tasks, which may indicate either mental overload or a compensatory mechanism.
I've got to concentrate. Hello? Hello? Echo.
But given that burnout is derived from chronic work-related stress, these deficits in mental functions aren't surprising. Instead, the study warns about the detrimental effects of long-term chronic stress on the brain. As neuroscientist Amy Arnsten explained to CNN Health, burnout-induced stress can lead to the thinning of gray matter in the prefrontal cortex. This weakening of brain matter is believed to significantly increase the risks of mistakes and affect your overall performance. Burnout and insomnia often go hand in hand, creating a cycle of exhaustion and sleep difficulties. As psychiatrist Dr. Catherine Carney explains via PsychReg, trouble sleeping is one way to identify a burnout crisis because chronic stress or anxiety makes it more challenging for the brain to unwind at night. This happens because stress causes your body to release hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. In other words, it activates your fight or flight response, which can keep you from relaxing and falling asleep easily.
Excuse me, fight or flight coming through. Excuse me, fight or flight is on its way. Excuse me, ma'am, fight or flight.
This is called sleep reactivity, which is described as a condition that makes it harder to fall and stay asleep. While burnout is mainly associated with work-related problems, it can happen to anyone. A study published in Springer Plus offers a different perspective. The study explains the detrimental effects of burnout on students by stating that when overloaded with academic demands, students sacrifice sleep to extend their study time. However, this lack of sleep only worsens their exhaustion, contributing to a seemingly endless cycle of burnouts and sleep problems. In essence, burnout creates a perfect storm for insomnia, with stress, fatigue, and emotional strain all contributing to sleep difficulties. A clear red flag of burnout, differentiating it from laziness, is a change in your eating habits. As researcher Dr. Jeanette M. Bennett explains in the New York Times, some may find themselves eating less due to being too caught up with work. In contrast, others may turn to comfort foods as a way to seek temporary emotional relief. In any case, any changes in appetite or hunger levels due to burnout come from the effect of stress hormones on your body. Appetite regulation involves various hormones, notably ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin, known as the appetite-stimulating hormone, is the one in charge of making you hungry. In contrast, leptin is the one that tells your brain when you've had enough to eat. Ghrelin typically goes down when dealing with acute stress, but increases in the face of chronic stress. Thus, in theory, this means that burnout should lead to overeating. However, this doesn't seem to be a strict rule. Scientists suggest that both animals and humans can develop ghrelin resistance, meaning that some people may not respond to the hormone's effects or hunger cues even when its levels rise. Burnout significantly increases the likelihood of experiencing multiple stress-related symptoms, which can affect several of your body's systems. In fact, according to a study published in the Journal of Psychosomatic Research, burnout has been linked to more than 130 different symptoms, including neck and back pain, tingling or numbness, fatigue, headaches, gastrointestinal problems, respiratory problems, sleep difficulties, and increased pain sensitivity. These symptoms may reflect stress-related changes in the endocrine, immune, nervous, and digestive systems, and may be linked to burnout's association with feelings of anxiety and depression.
Anybody messes this thing up for me tonight is through. Not only are you fired, your life is over.
In addition, a review published in PLOS ONE includes heart disease among the major physical consequences of burnouts and explains that it could be due to various mechanisms, including metabolic syndrome, problems with the body's stress management system, inflammation, a weaker immune system, changes in blood coagulation, and the fact that many may turn to unhealthy coping habits such as smoking or sacrificing exercise when feeling overwhelmed by work. Moreover, impaired immune function in people with burnout increases their likelihood of contracting infectious diseases, such as the common cold or gastroenteritis. Lastly, the review found that burnout might be a predictor of suicidal ideation. Overall, burnout significantly impacts physical and mental health, manifesting a wide range of stress-related symptoms that can have serious life-threatening implications. According to a review published in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health, burnout can be classified into three main variations depending on a person's commitment to their job. The first subtype, known as frenetic burnout, is common in work environments characterized by work overload or an expectation to work until exhaustion, which results in people suffering from overwhelming stress. On the other hand, under-challenged burnout is typical in professions with repetitive or monotonous tasks that leave workers feeling like their jobs are unfulfilling and dull. Finally, the worn-out subtype makes people feel like they've had enough and can't control what happens at work anymore.
Now this is your last chance. If one piece of candy gets past you and into the packing room unwrapped, you're fired.
Regarding burnout triggers, the review classifies them into two categories: organizational factors and individual factors. Organizational factors stem from the nature of tasks, work organization, and relationships within the workplace. These factors include unbalanced workloads, lack of autonomy, role ambiguity, inadequate supervision, perception of injustice, lack of social support, and poor working hours. In contrast, individual factors are related to personal traits or coping strategies that protect or predispose individuals to burnout in certain work environments. Traits such as neuroticism and type A personality can increase vulnerability to burnout, while openness to experiences and problem-focused coping can protect you from it. Identifying the different types of burnout and understanding their triggers might help you take proactive steps to prevent and manage it effectively. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.